Hey, welcome to Witching Hour Tarot. Been getting into it this week, as it turns out. I recorded Saturday, and then yesterday was Monday, and then today, Tuesday. So, just kind of on a roll. I do enjoy doing this. It's just, it's kind of fun for me at night when I'm kind of just like trying to settle down and, find things to do with my time. But I hope everyone has been having a great week thus far. Love, light, and blessings to everyone. Let's see if we can get into it, see what's going on in the collective. Yeah, I'm kind of just finally processing that we are in the new year, 2025. It's kind of, I feel like I'm constantly on this like battle of like, do I want to do more? Do I want to achieve more? Do I want to accomplish more? Or do I just kind of want to relax and focus on the things that I already know and, and kind of just like coast in my life rather than keep building. Like we kind of just, feminine energy to me is like all about just like being and enjoying and in the presence. And like, to me, masculine energy is like very actively, looking to do something, build something, become something, so like, I feel like it's kind of hard to find a happy equilibrium as like as a feminine woman in the 21st century. So I have some of these goals that I'm looking to accomplish, and I don't know if I'm going to accomplish them in 2025. And then again, like I'm so ambivalent about it, on the fence about it in terms of how I want to spend my time. Cause like, I really enjoy things like tarot and esoteric things and, taking really good care of my little pet doggy and, taking good care of my body, my skin, my hair. And it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of time. Like, on Sunday night, I was doing like my weekly kind of like like grooming where I'm like doing a hair mask, exfoliating my skin by dry brushing, tweezing my brows, like just making sure that everything's like taken care of. And it takes me 3 hours. That's a lot of time to like allocate just to like grooming, not to mention like all the time I like, see specialists and all that stuff. But with all that being said, like I am an ambitious woman, so I'm not really sure. A tangent. Like I'm so content, which is kind of the problem. Like there's this really funny meme where it's like kind of like a chubby hamster, and I'm just like, I'm content on like my intrinsic size. Like, like that's kind of the problem, but whatever. So I do have some goals I want to accomplish that have kind of been on my to-do list for years. And, maybe I should just tackle it. Like, what do you think? Thumbs up if you think yes. Yeah, I'm in a playful mood tonight. All right, let's see what's going on in the collective. Again, this is my tarot sexual magic. I do love this deck. 6 of Cups. Yeah, so this is a card of romance, soulmate. You can see this feminine here is drawing a depiction of some sort of kissing, smooching session. So it's definitely kind of like not love obsessed, but like, and not even like infatuated, like a healthy amount of interest in someone and romantic feelings for someone, very healthy here. As well. And I love how you can kind of see like there's a depiction of the seasons changing. Like it's kind of, it looks like it's kind of fall becoming winter. So it's like more or less cuffing season. Like winter is all about cuffing season. So, there's definitely a secure love here, which is nice. And you can see the pigeons as well. I don't know if these are pigeons or doves, but I just saw this really interesting like video about pigeons, how they have this like helicopter feature where they don't have to get like a running start. Like, a lot of birds have to like, get a running start before they can take off. They can kind of just like, if they're in one area, they can kind of just like, lift off like a helicopter. So So that might be relevant to someone here. Flying planes, flying helicopters, airspace, Air Force, traveling, maybe perhaps. Yeah, there's a lot of nice meaning in this card. All right, let's see what else is going on. Death. Yeah, so we've been seeing death quite a lot. So death is all about transformation. You can see that this depiction of death is female. Usually it's like more of a grim reaper and she's holding a scythe. So death is kind of, it is a time of, like, I think it's actually Scorpio, so it's a fall season, a season of harvest, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's cyclical as well. Like there's fall all around the world typically, the fall season, whether that be, even if it's in a tropical area, you do get migratory animals or migratory bugs or different blooms or what have you in different seasons, if it doesn't really change that much in temperature. So it's kind of just like a shift, from it's not necessarily, it's a transformation, not necessarily a negative connotation, with the Six of Cups. So maybe someone's kind of transforming their love life, transforming how they feel. Knight of Cups. Yeah, so again, the Knight of Cups, I keep comparing it to the character in Atonement. James McAvey. I'm so bad with like butchering names sometimes, but and that's the actor in Atonement who who does remind me of the Knight of Cups. Very romantic, very it's water energy, so Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, very fluid, flexible, and you can kind of see like she's bathing here. It also reminds me of the story of, I don't know who exactly what it was, but a biblical character. I think it was like Rebecca or something like that, bathing on the rooftop in the ancient Middle East. And I don't know who was, like, maybe Jacob was watching her. Don't quote me exactly, but it does kind of remind me of that vibe. And it's really kind of interesting that a lot of people used to bathe like in public at a certain point, or it was a very intimate kind of thing that you would do, even like on a stream somewhere. And then people might be watching you, or just kind of get a peek at you. It's kind of like a peeping Tom too, but not with the creepy vibe. I get really like paranoid about that stuff. Like, I personally did have a peeping Tom in college. It was my first time like living off campus outside of my parents' house, and maybe I shouldn't even say this, and the window like things were very flimsy. And if you know anything about me, I'm very comfortable in my body and in the nude. So I could kind of just like would tend to walk around naked a lot, and I didn't realize that there are these boys, these 21-year-old boys who would hang out on the roof, and apparently they would just see me all the time. Oh man, I got so embarrassed when I realized it, and I thought I was going crazy because I kept hearing like these people like chatting, and I'm just like, where is that coming from? And then like one day I just opened up my flimsy window shade and I looked out. So kind of an invasion of privacy could be relevant here as well. I do feel like feminines have to be really protective of their privacy. People don't tend to respect the privacy of feminines. It's just everyone kind of wants to know what the beautiful girl is doing, what the it girl is doing. That's like kind of what the tabloids are about, and just like gossip generally and political stuff. Like, everyone wants to know like what's going on behind closed doors because it's like hot, juicy gossip. So, but with that, like, I do think that you have to be extra conscientious about your privacy. I personally, like, I'm very intentional about what I post online. There was a point where I had nothing, nothing online. You wouldn't be able to like tell anything about me. And like someone, a love interest that I had, like, made me feel like such a loser for like, not being active online and like not really caring about it either. And it made me feel very self-conscious. So I kind of, tried to get a following and become very, like entertaining in that way, but it kind of was like the wrong direction. I think my best judgment was not with me at that time. I was just kind of angry for being judged, and so I was like trying to prove someone wrong in that. But I forgot exactly. Like be careful of your privacy. Be careful of what you post. Be careful of who you spend time with. Do they respect you enough to not, share what you tell people, to keep it between you, like, to a degree, like, obviously, like, a lot of proud men want people to know that they're hanging out with a beautiful woman, for sure. But, anything beyond that, I just advise on being careful. Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, so this is like an offer here. Pentacles are earth energy, so Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. We are in the season of Capricorn, I think still. Capricorn is, the tarot is actually, it's the devil in tarot, and I think it's kind of a goat in horoscopes, but there's definitely... Capricorns are very fun people. They're very kind of like elusive people. I did have a really good friend who was a Capricorn, and she was like very kind of soft-spoken and reserved, but then she could like turn up on an instant, and kind of just surprise me sometimes. So cool. Yeah, so, about the whole privacy thing, like, I had a friend and I was talking to them about, like, the purpose of social media and the purpose of, like, just kind of anything generally. And he had this really interesting point that I still think of to this day, where it's like, everything is meant to entertain you. Like, most things that we see, if it's not, like, making money, it's meant to entertain you. And so... with that, like, like Britney Spears quote, like, who I also think is a Cancer, there are two types of people in this world, those who entertain and those who observe. I think I'm definitely, one of the entertainers for sure. Maybe just in my mind, but, I do have a bad habit of, like, posting on Twitter, X and stuff like that, random stuff, like, just kind of, like, my compulsive thoughts, and I feel like, it's something I definitely have to grow out of, but, it's very kind of also like, maybe I'm stirring the pot a little bit too much. Like, that's me and my karmic energy, like, just kind of stirring the pot on my Twitter page, and then I'm like, well, why are you looking? Like, is it entertaining you? Do you think I'm entertaining? Like, everything is for attention, and like, I really hate the star. So this is really great Aquarian energy. We did actually see this in one of our last readings, and we've been seeing this card a lot. Very dreamy energy, very, it reminds me of the Fountain of Youth, a very reciprocal relationship, very respectful relationship. It's the most psychic card in the deck as well, magical and psychic, that and the moon. So, it's kind of really great to see that here as a main theme. But I forgot exactly what I was going to say. guess it's not important. Yeah, I'm like super playful today. Oh, this is what I was gonna say. Never mind. Oh, right. So on a tangent of the whole privacy thing, like this is kind of positive energy for sure with the Star of the Pentacles, like, but just the fact that this woman here is in the mood, is in the nude, and it's just relevant to what I'm channeling at this moment in time. Like, a lot of masculines and, misogynistic people, they say that like women just do everything for attention. And it's just such a skewed point of view, a double standard, because like men do stuff for attention all of the time. Like what, like back to the conversation, or the monologue of entertainment, like what is like a gladiatorial fight, like what is like going off to war and like conquering, like you do that for your glory, for your honor, like you do that to be recognized, to get the attention of, everyone within your kingdom. Like, I really hate that, sort of lens that is put on women. Like, a lot of people might say like, oh, I'm just doing it for attention. I'm like, first of all, like, who cares what I'm doing? Like, who cares what I'm doing? Like, it's none of your business what my intentions are if you're going to judge me for it. And if you know me well enough to ask me, then it's probably not even what you think, So like, it's really difficult, I think, to overcome those sort of like social narratives and like thinking about things a little bit differently. Everyone does things for attention. Dogs do things for attention, like it's just what the reality is. All right, so we have the Queen of Coins, and then we have the Hanged Man here. So there's definitely been a change of perspective. The Hanged Man does remind me of like Robin Hood stealing from the rich and then giving to the poor. And the Queen of Coins, again, this is like the wifey card, the triple threat. Like, she can sing, she can dance, she can act. Especially with the Six of Cups here. It's earth energy again, so Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, and so someone seemingly might be in love with a very stable energy here, and they're kind of realizing how stable this person might actually be, and maybe they were caught up in a different type of, narrative, or a different type of person, or just had a different type, and they're kind of seeing that like, maybe this is everything right for me, maybe this is exactly what I want, exactly what I need, and someone who has boundaries, someone who is not afraid to like, someone not necessarily not afraid, but someone who remains detached, who's so comfortable on their own, who has everything that they could want, all the stability, everything, and they're able to stay healthy and stay detached because of that. All right, let's see what else is going on here. Four of Wands. Yeah, so we've been seeing the Four of Wands a lot as well. So this is like another soulmate card, duality, perfectionism, or not perfectionism, perfection. Yin and yang, black and white, masculine, feminine, light and day, night and day, light and dark, like, all of the things that are dualistic in this world. With the Knight of Chalices, there's definitely love here, definitely a love situation. Love is coming for you here, or it has already arrived with the Queen of Coins, being introduced. And you're kind of just like seeing it for the first time. Again, like relevant to that Black Crow song, I'm seeing things for the first time. I think that's more about like a karmic feminine, someone who's like, quite abusive and whatever. We can all kind of like be triggered into our karmic energy, personally, like I can get very triggered into my karmic energy, and it kind of just reminds me of everything that I've overcome and, you know, come from, and everything that I've tried to build for myself, and, you know, and no one held my hand along the way either, you know, and people don't really know that about me or respect that about me. So when people come for me in some kind of way, it's just like every single mean girl, you know, nerve inside of me is triggered, and I just want to be, I just want to be really rude, you know. But that's also my problem. It's not the best way to handle things. And like I used to kill people with kindness, and, you know, but I really think that people need to know not to push you around, and people need to understand that you're not someone to be trifled with. And like I have a very sweet demeanor, so I think people misunderstand sometimes. But back to, like, you know, the song Seeing Things, it is more about a karmic fountain. Everyone can kind of be triggered into their karmic energy. But it's just kind of like, you know, maybe a masculine here has also been in their karmic energy, and like, you know, they're after the wrong things, after the wrong people, you know, not realizing what they really need, like thought they wanted the shiny thing, but when they, you know, they take it off, it's just like tinfoil that's spray painted, you know, it's like not actually shiny, like the Queen of Coins here. You know, so it goes both ways. Three of Cups. Yes, Three of Cups is all about celebration, you know, toasting, you know, coming to the party, meeting good friends, concubines, you know, it's very positive. So there's, again, definitely a love situation here on the table, a realization that someone could be, in fact, in love, wanting to make an offer. Shuffle. Yeah, I do love tarot. Again, like I don't delve into, I'm talking about myself a lot in this reading, but you know, I've just been mysterious for so long. Y'all, my 2 viewers just need to know, right? Yeah, my degree of obnoxiousness apparently. But you know, I really advise against like anything else in divination, black magic, spell work, you know, even like your words when there's no intention, or, you know, can be spells. And like depending on your spiritual power or your intuitive powers, like if you say something about someone, you could literally, like, that's a spell in itself. Like our words are very powerful things. So I kind of just like leave it at that. Like when someone, you know, I don't think that you need to do these ritualistic things to, you know, I think it's very, very bad karma. And also, like, you really don't know. I talked in one of my other readings, who, like, if you believe in reincarnation, or if you believe in spirituality, or, you know, any sort of faith, like, you don't know who is spiritually protected or not. Like, in reincarnation, like, you don't know if someone's reincarnated as Jesus Christ, or reincarnated of Joan of Arc, or reincarnated as Mother Teresa, you know, or reincarnated as Albert Einstein. Like, you know, these really spiritually influential people who've changed how we think about the world, how we think about morality, how we think about, you know, just existence. You don't know who it is you're attacking in the spirit realm, and you'll never know. You know, we can't see it, fortunately and unfortunately. You know, that's where faith comes in. But I really think it's not good to do that to people. You know, and it's kind of just like, it's very ignorant as well to like think that you have the power to influence that someone in that way. You know, like I definitely feel like I've been, you know, subject of spiritual attacks in one way or another, and like just like, and I'm just like, oh, you have no idea who you're messing with, like, you know, like that's not gonna tear me down. I hate to break it to you, like, you know. So luckily, like, I'm very strong in that realization that, like, you know, I think that's a little Wayne song, like, you can't break what can't be broken, You know, like it's just, there's just no way. Like sometimes I appease the emotions of other people just like to see where it can get me, but like I'm very centered in like who I am. Temperance. Yeah, so temperance, this is equilibrium. This is, you know, finding balance. This is, you know, you see here, this actually is very similar to the original Rider-Waite tarot deck where they're pouring, you know, 1 cup of water into a cup and then from the cup into a pitcher and then kind of just like continuously doing that. You know, so really take your time, you know, go slow in the situation. There's no need to rush here with all the fate and love on the table. And, you know, like that's the thing too, is like people are so eager to kind of just like get to the next level. Like masculines are eager to like, you know, get in bed with a woman, and women are eager to like get in a relationship. And, you know, you really miss those finer moments where you can express yourself in like an intimate way, you know. For example, the man I'm seeing, like he has these textured shirts, and I adore him, and like, you know, he wears these textured shirts all the time, and like I said to him, like, I love like these shirts that you wear, like I love the texture of them. So like every time I see him now, he always is wearing a textured shirt, you know. Or like, you know, I said that the new Bad Bunny album came out, and then he starts listening to it and like posting it on his stories on Instagram. Like that's like very you know, there's an intimacy to it, in like the finer, smaller details. Like it doesn't always have to be these like huge gestures to show someone that you care about them. So it's also very divine energy as well, very pure energy with the stars and temperance, which is really nice to see. A lot of fluidity here. We have 3 cups on the table, you know, fluidity and a little bit of passion with the 4 of Wands, and then, you know, some stability as well, which is awesome. Yeah, even death it's a Scorpio, so it's water as well. You know, so be more fluid. You know, this is a air energy, Aquarius, the stars, and I think temperance is actually, shucks. You know, I'm going to look it up really quick. Give me a second. So it's actually Sagittarius. I do have a lot of Sages in my life as well. You know, my brother is a Sag. My niece and nephew are Sagittariuses as well. You know, Sages are fire energy. So really kind of temper what the fire that you might have in you. All right, let's see. Hey, I lost some cards here. Okay. So I'm actually going to take these cards out. Is my executive tarot decision making? I think that, you know, we don't want them on the table right now, is my vibe. The Lovers, yeah, so 100%, you know, love is here for you, love is happening for you. You know, it's right over the hill. It's literally right over the hill. It's coming for you. With the Lovers, Queen of Cups, and Six of Chalices. Like this is like a once in a lifetime kind of love situation. You know, we really only have, like, the thing is, like, we live in such a fast-paced society, and like you really don't have these like connections with people that come around that often, like maybe once in a decade, you know. Knight of Cups, yeah, so someone is in their feels, and it looks like it's, you know, a sexy young masculine here, you know, gallantly coming forward and thinking about the best way to profess their feelings and what they've transformed and how they've, you know, found enlightenment, and, you know, it's very nice. This is a love reading for sure. Queen of Swords. Yeah, but there's also, here's the other queen on the board. We saw a lot of kings last night. There were like 5 kings on my board last night, which was really cool. We have 2 queens here. We have a queen of coins and then a queen of swords. And so the queen of swords, typically she's like the widowed queen, the divorced queen. So someone who's kind of definitely gone through the pain of life and had hardship and knows that she's gone through too much to kind of put up with whatever could happen. And so someone might be thinking about how to come forward, but maybe there was a misunderstanding or something that happened in the past, and she's like, oh, not with me, not with me, and like the thing is, like, someone definitely, there's definitely a woman here, feminine here, who has very strong boundaries with the Queen of Coins and the Queen of Swords, which is really important. Standards are meant to keep the people who you don't want in your life out of your life. And like sometimes when we in my other tarot readings, we've seen like very intense, like 7 of Swords, 9 of Wands, like very intense, kind of deceptive, burdened energy. We don't see any of that here tonight, but like when you're in this, when you encompass this kind of like divorced, widowed queen who's gone through life's challenges, nothing, you can't get anything past this person. Like even if they have like a straight face or a stoic face, like you can't get anything past this person with that sword here, and people think that they can like one up. Everyone's kind of like certain. I'm actually not even gonna go there. But think about the celebration. Yeah, 7 of Pentacles. So maybe someone thought that they didn't have enough to offer to celebrate this love here. The 7 of Pentacles is like, this person has been tilling soil for decade after, year after year, trying to find a harvest, and it's still just 7 measly pentacles. Like he looks like kind of middle-aged, or in his late youth, maybe in his late 20s, early 30s, and like this is all he has at this point in time. And that's just also like the reality of what the situation is. Like a lot of people don't build their wealth until they're in their 40s or 50s. Like your 50s are your prime earning years, at least in the United States of America. So like 55 until you retire, you're really earning the most you'll ever earn in your life, typically. So it's I feel like it's very tough in some areas of the United States as well. It's just ridiculously expensive, to the cost of living, and so I think that a lot of people do get coupled up because they want to alleviate the burden of the cost of living, but it's like also the wrong reason to be with someone. It's the wrong reason to like get with someone so you can be financially dependent on one another just for your lifestyle. But I think that's quite common. So maybe someone's been holding off, like, I really don't want to get involved in anything that I'm not 100% sure about, because first of all, I don't feel like I have enough. But second of all, like I recognize that, it's not like if I like, I also, masculine men, like masculine macho men, like they kind of want to run the show. Like they don't want to be dependent. They want to take care of a situation. They don't want to deal with a feminine kind of out earning them or out performing them in any kind of way, especially in a relationship. Like the super masculine dudes like are typically like would much rather, they have endless options, but they much rather be single because they don't feel comfortable to give to a relationship. And there's this relationship coach that I found on Instagram one day, and she's just like, listen, like if the guy isn't happy with himself, with his financial situation, with where he's at in life, with his living situation, with his family, like they're like, leave him alone. Whether or not he's going to leave you alone is another thing. But again, like, you have to have boundaries with people. And you know, even if you have really strong feelings for someone, and they might even have really strong feelings for you, like, if they're not ready to take the plunge into, like, you know, a serious commitment, you really have to just respect that, as hurtful as it might be. But it's so funny, there's such a dance between, like, masculine and feminine energy. Like, I also get, like, in certain instances, I think that women get very frustrated when they're, like, you know, seeing a guy for 6 months or a year, you know, 3 months or to 6 months to a year, and, like, you know, he doesn't want to give anything to the relationship. Like, maybe he's exploring his options and whatever. And, like, men, it's just so, the dance between masculine and feminine is so interesting. Like, men are very introspective in how they process their feelings, and they step back, you know, like, that's the masculine, kind of like seeking independence. It's all the testosterone, you know, seeking independence again. And then the feminine estrogen is, like, literally the opposite, where it's seeking connection. So it's just, it fascinates me that we have, like, you know, these dynamics play out. And I think that it's also really unfortunate that the culture really emphasizes, like, you know, a woman's self-worth, a feminine self-worth is made on, you know, relationships and love and whatever. And, like, you know, and obviously it's contestable, anything that I say here, but it's, you know, a lot of women kind of stay stuck in their karmic energy. They don't do anything for themselves. Like, you know, they don't try to get a job. They don't try to, you know, better their health or grow or make different friends or get out of their comfort zone or do anything, because they're reliant on the idea that a man will take care of them. You know, a lot of women are like that. And so, like, you know, it's nice that we're in the 21st century too, because, like, for the first time, you know, since the 50s, or, you know, in mid 20th century, we have women being able to build their own wealth. You know, we're really at a pivotal time in history where the most wealth, like, within the next 10 years, is going to be belong to women on this planet, because of generational inheritance, or, you know, self-made, whatever it might be, but mostly due to generational inheritance. You know, it's very important for a feminine to be financially stable, to have her own thing, to, you know, have these other things she can focus on, rather than putting all of her energy, you know, into a masculine. And when they don't, you know, it becomes very unhealthy, because they can get very obsessive, very toxic, you know, very, you know, like, I've certainly been stalked by women before. You know, there's two particular instances, you know, where they thought their love interest was interested in me, and, like, you know, they're so obsessive, like, it's just kind of out of my head. Like, I would never like, I would never even think of stalking someone like that, like, following them. Like, that's more of, like, a masculine thing. And just, like, you know, let them do that, you know, behind closed doors. Like, I would never in my life, like, I like the super masculine dudes too. Like, so I'd be afraid to follow them. Like, I'd be afraid to, like, you know, go into that energy and, like, see what they're up to, and, like, creep on them and stuff like that in that way, you know. Like, it would scare me. Like, I would be too scared to do that, because I just it's not in my nature. But again, like, you know, I'm really lucky, because I've been raised by a really nice family, and they've taught me to have my own thing, to have my own independence, to, you know, so. The Hermit. Yeah, so we've actually been seeing the Hermit a lot as well. The Hermit is, again, all about introspection, like, kind of like licking your wounds behind closed doors, really thinking about you know, the past and what may have happened in the past and how you could potentially make it better. We did just have the high priestess and the sun fall out, so their spirit saying, hello, please listen to my divine goddess here because she knows what she's talking about. Yes. You know, let's see, I always like to see what's on the bottom of the deck. Four of Coins and then Queen of Wands. Yeah, so there's definitely a feisty feminine here as well. You know, someone very passionate, very seductive, you know, a seductress. And then the Four of Coins, this is this very stubborn energy. So maybe someone's kind of been like, you know, sitting around and licking their wounds for a little bit too long and thinking the best way to handle this situation, and but realizing that they are in fact very much in love. So anyway, love, light, and blessings to everyone. Hope you have a great rest of your night.